Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to this webcast with the amazing Lynne Briggs. You probably know Lynne from her time in the industry, working with FitPro, looking after Mosa, but we wanted to get her on and talk about MH1, MHQ, and everything to do with mental health. So welcome, Lynne.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I can't tell you. And I've got this new background, which I just keep staring at, and it's loving it.
We're so excited. I normally have this blue brick wall, that I build before any webcast, and Lynne has managed this amazing background, and it's got her hashtag on the back, which is release the feel good. And I hope that listening into this is going to release your feel good, and you're going to get to learn some amazing things about what MH1 is doing. And FitPro partner with MH1, and there's jolly good reason that we do. So Lynne's been in the industry longer than me, which almost seems impossible. So and also works with a great team in the work that she's doing with MH1. So let's dig in a little deeper to the innovations, the educations all around mental health. Okay, so Lynne, let's dig a little bit into, well, before we dig, let's find out a little bit about what MH1 is and what the MHQ is, because I think they're really valuable to the fitness industry.
Yeah, they are. Oh, thanks, Teresa. What an amazing introduction. Well, MH1 stands for mental health first and foremost. And it came to be, it was a movement that was started off when at the beginning, well, actually before COVID, to be fair. It started off as a movement on Facebook, just to kind of support our people in the industry during a very tough time. We wanted to be, we aspired to be, we still aspire to be the go-to place for mental health support and expertise in our industry. However, it'll come to pass that actually this is going a little bit bigger than that because of employee well-being across the board. So it started off with this little group on Facebook, and it was co-founded with Graham Hind, who's another industry veteran. And at the beginning of 2022, he handed over the reins to me and said, "You know what, Lynne, this has to be, you've got to take this further." So here the journey began, and I was thrown into the world of anything and everything. So we decided that we'd base this on 4 pillars of educating, innovating, researching, and talking, which is pretty much what mental health's really all about. And we had at the beginning of all this, we had a burning desire to create a mental health questionnaire to sit alongside a physical activity questionnaire, because at the end of the day, you can't actually have one without the other. It's one continuum, it's all as one. So that was this is the first innovation, Teresa. This is the first innovation. So I contacted a colleague of mine, Paula Litherland, which I can hardly even say would have had a few glasses of wine, never mind sober. Paula Litherland. And she was doing a master's dissertation at the time.
Yeah.
And she said, "No, Lynne, I'd love to, but my ethics have all been approved, blah, blah, blah. I can't." Next day, she phones me again. "I can. I'm going to. If I can get it approved, I'm going to." So the MHQ was born out of a psychology dissertation, a master's dissertation. Put her through hell, put myself through a little bit of pressure too. Research assistant extraordinaire. No, God, reams and reams and reams and reams and reams of data. Qualtrics, dirty word. So it was done. And we had it validated. So every single one of these 11 lifestyle factors on this questionnaire have been validated, but we had to make it fit for purpose for industry. Can't do that on a spreadsheet. So we engaged one of our partners, Referral, who have a digital platform where they host lots and lots of different questionnaires, the GP referral type evidence. And they said, yeah, they partner us. So now we have the questionnaire on a digital platform that can be downloaded by either by email or by text. We can go into that a little bit later if you want, but that's where we are now. We're educating, we're innovating, we're researching, and we've got the MHQ. So to date, that's where we are.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning it's peer reviewed, and it's a psychometric tool that really is purposely made for the fitness industry, isn't it?
It is a psychometric tool, and it is validated. It's
Yeah.
going through peer review at the moment, because we have to have that published in a couple of publications. That's underway at the minute.
Yeah.
But yes, we're ready to rock and roll, as they say.
I love that. So I think whilst talking about mental health, I mean, for both of us personally, but also our roles where we've been in the industry, is a very, very important thing to us. So let's dig into some of those stats, because when you spoke at the House of Commons, you hit us with some stats. Yes, she did speak at the House of Commons. She did. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And you hit us all with some stats that were really, I don't know, scary. So hit us with them now, please.
So if we're looking at UK type stats, and these are, some of these are as recent as well, the NHS one is January 2023. And as you know, sometimes it's retrospective because it takes time to collate this data to actually publish it. So if I just, can I put my spectacles on?
Please, now we definitely match.
I do not want to muddle up people's data and evidence, unless I'll be getting done. So Mental Health UK are telling us that there are 8 million people experiencing anxiety disorder at any one time. The MH1 Mental Health Foundation are saying that less than 50% of people with generalised anxiety disorder actually access treatment. Scary stuff. The NHS tell us that there's 3.25 million people were in contact with NHS mental health services at some point during 21-22, which is about just under 6% of the population. That's people who are getting in touch.
Yes.
Which, you know, we have to keep that in mind. To put it in perspective, the World Health Organization, and this is the big one that you will remember, in January 2020, this year, published a report that cited that 499.2 million new cases, nearly 500 million cases of non-communicable disease globally. There will be globally by 2030 at a direct care cost of $520 billion. Now, this is the thing, T. 43% of those new cases will come from anxiety and depression. Mm-hmm. We need to look at physical and mental health as one continuum. We have to, you know, if this is not a wake-up call for our industry, I don't know what is, because we are in pole position to actually deliver in a non-clinical way,
yes,
on some of these lifestyle factors that will help stop people getting to crisis. Because you and I know, and people listening will know, that our NHS mental health services are on their knees. Absolutely. And you know, if we can, my heart thing on this is to help. If we can help in any way, shape or form, help people and just make small, we're not asking for big changes, but small changes in their lifestyle, which will impact every other, each one will impact the other. Absolutely. You know, and ultimately will drive people to our facilities, because the physical health bit of it is crucial to the mental health.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the talking about it is, you know, and just everybody, you know, is talking about mental health, aren't they? Thank goodness, right?
Yes.
In the fitness industry, do fitness professionals, there's two prongs here, isn't there? Do fitness professionals talk truly about it with their clients, or are they indeed looking at their own because they're servicing others? And, you know, whilst there is a lot of talk about it, and I also find this a lot about menopause, often people have had to have gone through quite a long journey in their own sort of mental health journey to then suddenly start talking about it. It certainly was the case for me, that for years and years, I was in struggle, and now I talk very openly about it. But I think the more we talk about it, it's going to help people access things earlier. And it doesn't have to just be NHS, does it? It could be accessing a bit of activity, because this could well help. So, you know, you have this two-prong effect, which is helping the customer, you know, looking after them, but also looking after the fitness professional themselves.
Exactly. And do you know what, Teresa? It's wider than that even. It's all of us as employees. You know, when you look at the, oh God, the cost of mental ill health or stress or anxiety on the workforce generally, it's frightening. I think the stat is, I think the latest one is that something like 18 points, not something like 18.8, just under 19 days a year are lost through mental health. I mean, it's a phenomenal cost. And, you know, that has a knock-on effect on, you know, for our industry and others, you know, on obviously on well-being, but on retention, you know, on staff retention, on performance. You know, if we can get people to understand that this is a real thing, that people, that actually it's not necessarily that hard, and please don't be frightened of it. We're not clinicians. You know, at the end of the day, we're not qualified. We're not qualified to diagnose. We never will be unless we've got those qualifications. That's when we signpost. You know, but if we can help at that very early intervention stage, then, oh my gosh, I would sleep at night blissful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let's not forget, if people are taking all those days off a year, what's the struggle that they've experienced before having to take a day off? Because, you know, just having a low level of anxiety, a low level of depression, and a whole other host of things, they're probably rocking up to work and just not, they're having to endure those things. And that's, you know, so whilst we're looking at that being significant amount of days off, how are people feeling before they are, you know, and you know, they're really shocking stats. So let's dig now into exploring more about the MHQ. You talked about how it came together. Obviously it's links with well, the work that Paula Litherland has done. It is hard.
You're the same. You've not had a gin and tonic this early in the morning, have you?
No, I haven't. And at Edge Hill University, and you know, and obviously it's going through peer reviews and stuff like that. So I'd like to, you said it can be done email and stuff like that. I'd like for you to explain why this really is, I was going to say purposeful, that's not the word I want, why this can make a real difference to people in the industry. Let's talk about, you know, operators. Let's talk about, you know, how can it be sort of implemented?
Well, we were all very well versed in the PARQ or its equivalent. You know, we ask those questions. The mental health questionnaire is based on 11 lifestyle factors. You know, we're looking at things like work-life balance, nutrition, sleep, which is huge. Obviously, physical activity, stress and anxiety, self-image, social interaction. These are all things that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, but we're not directly asking. The questionnaire will seek those answers out. The questionnaire is automatically scored as well. And going back to the fact that we're not clinicians and we can't diagnose, we know the way that we can help is by we're having meaningful discussions with either our staff, don't forget staff first, to be fair, our staff or our clients, and, you know, asking them, well, these are your results. What, you know, how do you feel about that? You know, is there anything on there that you would like to work on, you know, first and foremost? Is there anything that jumps out at you? Is there any, because you might, or I might go, oh my goodness, we're needing a little help here. They might not want that. They might start, what we want them to do is open up as to why, the why. Why is it? And step by step, brick by brick, we will build the confidence in that person to be honest with us. and make those very small lifestyle changes. And Teresa, this doesn't necessarily start on the gym floor either.
No, no, absolutely.
You know, we have to build up that confidence. We have to find out, you know, what they would want to do, what they'd like to do, and we will build it. But eventually, our vision is that we will, because this is going out into companies outside our industry as well. But what we see is that we build that confidence up to the point where we do get them into fitness in some way, shape, or form. And if the facility is that touch point, that's a start.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a start. And for operators, you know, that I'm talking, you know, as a personal trainer here, and how, you know, how they would use the questionnaire. But as an operator, if you're a savvy operator here, and you think about what, right, let's just be dead. From a commercial point of view, you know, what would you as an operator get out of this from a commercial point of view? Well, you're going to get the buy-in from your staff, because you're going to be a caring, you know, you're going to be a caring employee supporting the staff, you know, the staff in their mental well-being. You are, from a commercial viewpoint, going to impact long-term sick. We've got, you know, one of our clients at the moment, that's the whole reason for doing this. They want to reduce their long-term sickness. Fantastic. So, you know, we're looking at staff retention. We're looking at member retention. If you're offering a service that's going to either within the membership or as a bolt-on to the membership, then, you know, this is something that people, they're going to buy in long term. They're going to, you know, the questionnaire is not meant to be a one-off, put it away. This is something that we need to repeat and see how we're progressing and see where we go next. And you know what, as well, Teresa, if it isn't the result we were wanting, well, we've got to explore why. There's no bad about this at all. There's no, oh my God, you know, okay, maybe we're not as where we want to be on this. So let's see what we can do next. It's also a tool where, you know, when we get the results, the operator is going to get access to funding pots to actually progress this, to develop it, to expand it. It gives them a chance to work within their communities that they never have before. You know, we said we're not always there. If it's not in our scope of practice, we can't do this. There's plenty of people in our community that can. And if we can engage the local community, yes, we know that there are lots of national associations and organisations that we can tap into. Brilliant. You know, we can signpost people to those for help and information. But if we can use our local communities as well, there again, we can bring those people in to deliver on our behalf. We can send people their way. And again, even then, that could be a new revenue stream. Absolutely. You know, I can't tell you how many opportunities new opportunities outside, you know, let's think outside those four walls. Let's think bigger, because we need to. If we're going to impact this, we need to.
You know, one of the things I want to come back to is, like, you've used the word tool, like, and for me, that's such a powerful word, because I've got to be honest, something like a PAR-Q, I don't really see as a tool. It is a tool, right? But it's often filled out just to check that you're okay to exercise, and then it's filed away, and it's a tick box exercise, and actually it's not. Of course, people do a consultation, but it's not actually, the PAR-Q is not the consultation form. It's just a part of. And for me, with the MHQ, it creates the opportunity to start conversation. If we are checking, you know, certain things on a PAR-Q, you don't have that, you don't have this heart condition, right, great, you're good to exercise, right? But we're not checking what really is probably impacting them on an everyday level. Often the PAR-Q is there to protect them from exercising and causing issue, and all we do is then send them off to the GP to get approval to exercise. It doesn't, I'm not discrediting.
No, not at all. We need both.
You know,
it goes in tandem, don't they?
Absolutely. But when, you know, when the PAR-Q's used, hopefully a good PT or somebody who works in group situations is digging much deeper than just saying tick, 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 tick. And for me, anytime there's an official tool, it means that it's just part of the process and it will be normalized. And it's a
Yes.
checking in process, which is really important. And what I just want to sort of emphasize again on this recording is this isn't just about our clients, this is about our employees as well.
Yeah.
If you're an operator, you
Yeah.
do have a responsibility to be looking after the health and well-being of your staff. Well, why? Because otherwise, well, that's not a great place to work. But, and these are my opinions, it's not a great place to work if you're not checking in on them. And certainly what you're going to find is you're going to have people long-term sick or not showing up to work or whatever. And so it does affect revenue, doesn't it? I mean,
Of course, yes.
you know, so I really, you know, I think it's a really powerful tool in so many parts.
Yeah, and it's a validated psychometric tool that measures the trajectory of mental health using those lifestyle factors. It's simplistic, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's simplistic. And, you know, you talk about the employers. There's evidence to support the fact that if somebody has had more than 2 consecutive days off due to their mental health, nearly 54% of those people will go on to leave. And don't get me on menopause. But yeah, I mean, there's such this there's such strong reasons to invest in something like this. And you know, we're training people up at the moment. We're working with a further education college. Stress levels are through the roof. Sickness is off the scale. They've trained 10 wellbeing coaches, wellbeing advisors, sorry, in-house to, you know, using the MHQ tool to help their staff. And you know, and then you know, we can, you know, if people give us permission, we can have the we can get if our clients give us permission, we can get the anonymized data, which obviously they're going to because they've bought into the system. We can have the anonymized data and we can go to the employer and we can say, look, you can see a trend here. You know, we've got these reports. Ooh, this is, you know, what are you going to do about it? Yeah. And you know, the other, like you call the triggers, there's triggers to help. And when people see genuine, because people have been afraid to say, clients are afraid to tell PTs are afraid to tell their employers. I've been in a situation in the past where it's like, we need to, and I'm like, wow, and it's just not how we should be these days. We need to support people. We all go through peaks and troughs. Mental health is not stable. It's not a steady state. It's like I liken it to blood pressure.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
No, and you know, stress is good in some situations. It's when it tips over the wrong way.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So obviously we're looking at being peer reviewed and it being effective and all of that. And you've talked about the 4 pillars of MH1, and one of those pillars is talking. And I think brilliant for the community. And I've attended quite a few of your webinars. Whenever I can attend, I'm there. So you've had in some amazing speakers who have been honest, transparent about their own journeys, which, you know, has enabled, I don't know, you've been able to look in on somebody else and there's been a beautiful journey they've gone through, really inspirational. They're really lovely sort of lunchtime gatherings where we all sort of listen in and stuff, and that's really, really wonderful. So you have been able to work with incredible speakers in that sort of point of view, but also you've got rather impressive range of partners in your advisory board, haven't you? And I know a few of those people on the advisory board. So do you want to talk a little bit about who is involved? Because I think, you know, people go, well, that sounds like a great idea. That sounds brilliant. But sometimes they need to know what's in the background to, you know, we know mental health is really important about talking about, but why is it trusted? Why can we trust MH1?
Right. So in terms of obviously FitPro partner, which is amazing for me, you know, to have the people that I've worked with for 35 years, well, nearly 35 years, you know, on side, and and appreciating and knowing how important it is amazing. And FitPro are powering our online CPD platform. And for every aspect of our professional lives, we need CPD, and there's a lot of stuff on there that's very relevant to mental health, for which I'm really grateful. So people, we do thank you, FitPro, but we do actually, we have a discount for the trainings on there, which we can find on the website. Matrix UK, which are fitness equipment suppliers, have been with us from the get-go. Julian Taylor, the commercial director there, has supported this, as has the whole company, right from the get-go, from inception, and continue to support us to the point now where we're working with a global company. So, the ambition really, talking to them, is to get this into all English speaking territories, which is amazing. Referral, obviously we couldn't do this without Referral. They have been amazing, building this for us, having it, taking all the this questionnaire is reverse scored. It's done in such a way that it can't be cheated. You've got to just do it. You just do it. You just put, you answer the questions as your head tells you to. And they've been amazing with us. Graham, who is the co-founder, runs a networking group called LFX, who they have been, Graham has been fantastic in the support and building the confidence in me, to be fair, to just go and do it. And his network have been fantastic in their support. They did the local authority trusts, especially. And then we've got Cornerstone Marketing, who have been helping us with our PR. And they did the Release the Feel Good campaign, which has got the six parts to this, which are free to download on our website. We just want to get people feeling better, for our clubs and centres. And very recently, YMCA Awards have come on board, and we are very privileged to be working with them on a brand new level 3 award, which, in simplistic terms, is really, I'm just going to say, well-being and behaviour change. So everything we're talking about is going to be packaged into a support package for people inside and outside the industry. There is no prerequisite for this, because we go back to, if you can help people, you've got the knowledge, you've got the background. Yes, no, some of these people won't be able to, to do a physical activity program, but that's when partnerships come in, don't they? And they, we partner with a local club or leisure centre. So they have been, they're fabulous. And our advisory board, oh my God, they are one. I mean, really, sometimes I physically pinch myself. We've got Hans Munch, he's just a globe trotter who's into everything. And, I'm like, oh God, he just knows everything and everybody. Our own Dr. Paul Batman, who does a lot of work for FitPro, who's an absolute, when we use the term legend,
he's
a legend. It's overused, but this guy, he's so knowledgeable, and on all the lifestyle stuff as well. He's contributed hugely. Dr. Chris Loxley's a behaviour science specialist, and he helped, again, lots of help at the beginning of all of this on human, on consumer behaviour. How to pitch stuff. How are people going to receive this? How do we talk to them? He's been. They're all fantastic. Rachel Young, equality and diversity. We've got Andre Dean. Andre Dean, another industry legend. She's quite a political activist as well, and she's opened so much for us. And we've got the two tutors, professors, from Edge Hill University with us, Sturgios Makris and Helen Wall. Helen is very active. She helped us loads getting this from a spreadsheet to the online, and continue. All of these people are continuing to help us in the background. There's lots of stuff going on in the background where we're all pulling, the same way. And I don't know. It's humbling.
Yes. Yeah. And we all know there's a need, right? We all talk about it, but I know the amount of work that has gone into creating this and how many people are in the background, which just Lynne, I believe anything you do would be credible, but it's just got so much credibility because of what has gone into it. And for good reason. I mean, if you're going to do something like this, it has to be done properly, doesn't it? It's got to be effective. You just can't, you cannot cut corners. You can't, it just, but this is all, I mean, bless Paula changing her mind on what she's going to be doing.
Oh,
I mean, they're a lot of people are supporting and helping and driving this forwards for good reason, and with a lot of yes,
and just interrupting you there, just to make sure that everyone knows that Paula is a co-director now, so we're heading this up together, and the stuff that we've got planned for the future is, we have got a plan. There's more to come. There's just amazing. I mean, the most recent person on the advisory board, Kylie. I can't say her surname. That's why I've not mentioned her. Just Kylie, who's working with Matrix Johnson Health Tech internationally. Her knowledge base, she's another PhD person. I can't talk this language, but they talk to me in simplistic ways that I can then go out and also share with other people. But it's all validated. It's all, everything that's it's all scientifically based. It's all validated. We're not making it up. We're not just thinking. I see a lot of stuff out there, as I'm sure you do, Teresa, and sometimes I roll my eyes, and then I just think, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Right. And this came from a real sort of inner drive, passion of supporting people. This wasn't like, oh, what business can I create here?
Oh God, no. No.
The fact, and so it, kudos to you, because I know where it comes from and why it drives you and stuff, and it's amazing. And we're grateful to be able to partner. It's amazing. So where do they follow you, these wonderful people listening in or watching? Where do they follow you? So obviously from the website point of view, it's mh1global.com. But how I've talked about things like webinars and stuff, and you've got a few kind of groups. Where can they, because they might want to just have a little sneaky look, and it might be that they're thinking, hell, I love the idea of supporting my employers, or do you know what, on my own mental health journey, I'd like to just be part of that community that genuinely talks and is safe. So tell us a little bit about how people can start that initial connection with you and the good work you're doing.
Thank you. So commercially, I suppose LinkedIn's probably the best place to go. For my own LinkedIn, I still tend to share stuff first, Lynne Briggs, and then I share it. We have got an MH1 Global business page as well, but people tend to want to follow people.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So I share to both of those platforms. We do have an MH1 Facebook community. Sorry, not MH1, MH1 Global. There was an MH1, which people are trying to, 3 people had to redirect yesterday. It's broken. Nobody can fix it. Facebook can't fix it. Experts can't fix it. But we've left it up there just because there's lots of people on it. But it's MH1 Global on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we've actually got a Group X, MH1 Global Group X group, which is it's specifically for Group X instructors. So that's kind of a different thread that will be growing as well. My email address is simply Lynne, L-Y-N-N-E, at mh1global.com, and I would love to speak to people about opportunities that may be very relevant to their core. Well, it's everybody, isn't it? This is not segmented. It affects us. It does affect us all, and it's a global pandemic.
Yes.
If we can all do our bit to help and support, then we're good people.
Yes. And Lynne, what I know about you is you are, I mean, in the roles that you do, like most and stuff, you are in support. You support instructors, you support the whole industry. And so I'm, personally, to people who are listening in, just chatting to Lynne about it as an opportunity. It's not going to be pushy, it's not going to be salesy. That's just not where Lynne comes from. And I think, often these things take a bit of time to make decisions, particularly at an operator level. But people listening into this and having that curiosity around the subject is a start. And I'm just very grateful for people listening in and for getting the opportunity to speak to my lovely friend Lynne Briggs. So Lynne, before we wrap this all up, I know we had a bit of a plan of what we would like to talk about. We've spoken a little bit about MH1, a little bit about MHQ, the 4 pillars, the educations, the innovations, the partners, the advisory board. But what haven't we spoken about that you would like to mention towards the end of this webcast? Is there anything or some words you'd like to say to our lovely audience listening in, other than the background, which is really impressive?
I know, the background. Yeah, thank you for teaching me how to do the background. Eternally grateful. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, and thank you to everybody that's listening, because this is a passion. This is a passion thing. This is a heart on sleeve thing for me. I think we're seeing the tide of change. When I was very heartened to see that UK Active report come out a few weeks ago that said 54, was it 2,000 people? The commissioner survey said, 2,000 people survey said the reason they go to fitness, to do fitness, is for mental health. 54% versus 49% for getting into shape. The tide is changing, and that warms me.
Yes.
I think I just want people to feel better. I want people to be able to be honest without judgment. That's what I want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be able to be in a safe place with employers that really care, with instructors and PTs that care, that are comfortable talking. We will help with all of that. Training comes, when with the MHQ, when people do, when they do invest in the MHQ, it does come with really substantial training on how to use it, how to deliver it, ideas on, how the conversation things. Half the training is about the conversations, and I think that once the people are confident, because there still is that reluctance. It's not my area. I'm not really sure. I'm scared. If people do mental health first aid training first and foremost, which it is part of the new qualification, and we do offer that separately. Having a little bit of knowledge as a background, not overstepping the mark. Don't be, you're not there to diagnose. Don't be frightened. If everybody stays within their scope of practice and feels, if you can talk to people, and when where the cutoff point is to signpost, people will be eternally grateful to you.
Oh.
You will help their confidence so much. And
yeah,
in our industry, Teresa, not everybody wants to be a strength and conditioning coach or pre and postnatal or GP referral. I think there's a whole host of new fitness professionals who will absolutely soar in doing this sort of work.
Absolutely, I agree. And I know that there are instructors out there that have real desire to support mental health and perhaps gone through their own journey, but just don't know how to start.
Do it. Yeah.
And it is hard, and often it's quite confronting, because if you have to ask somebody about their mental health, it means that you'll have to be a little in touch perhaps with how your own is. And it's quite a skill to be able to learn how to empathize, to be compassionate without it overwhelming you. And I think what I see is people who are naturally good at it, and maybe gone through their own journey, or they've learned it over years. It's not to say new people coming in can't do it. I'm just saying that that's what I have seen. Or people who've got a real, from their own journey, want to connect with people in that way. But this is an opportunity for people to, employers, people who are working with people every day to just start that conversation that is so incredibly important, is fundamental. And it's a bit like, you know, like you say, people can be scared because they don't want to say the wrong thing. But if they know the boundaries that they're supposed to work in, God, I look like I was raving then. You know, if they know the boundaries that, you know, is okay, and, you know, we don't want to talk about things that we don't know about, or that might be triggering or whatever. But you know, we can start to explore. And I think it's a really important thing. And you know, it doesn't, I love that you say that some people might just want to focus on that, but you know, you're sort of talking, not everybody wants to do strength and conditioning or pre and postnatal. But let's come to the strength and conditioning coach. They are working with clients who also have mental health. So
exactly.
everybody's
got mental health.
Absolutely right. So they can add, you know, a service on top of perhaps other strength and conditioning coaches, which is just checking in and saying, you know, as part of you know, my care of looking after you and performing well, we have to check in about your mental health, because that's going to affect performance. It's going to affect recovery. It's you know, you can bring it down to the basics of, you know, it's going to affect your, you know, I don't know, training, you know, talk about it.
It does, but it absolutely does. And you know, you're right. They need to be able to measure the mood. Once they know a little bit more about that person and their mental health, they'll be able to gauge when they walk in through the gym door. Absolutely. Oh, maybe I'm not going to do that one today. Let's do, you know, and it might be a totally different approach to what they do. It might even just be a chat session. You know, people worry about, you know, oh, I'm charging them for this. Well, you're charging them for good advice here. It doesn't have to be beasting them.
Yes, absolutely. You can also beast them, you know, but sometimes, absolutely. So Lynne, I want to say thank you for taking the time to speak to our lovely audience about the amazing work that you're doing. Any last words to them, you people listening in, any last words that you'd like to say to them, please?
Thank you again. I've loved this. Thank you, Teresa. Do you know what? I would just say, ask me. Just make an initial inquiry. Just see what this is all about. See if it fits for you, if it is a fit for you, and let's just take it from there. You won't regret it. I don't think you can. The support we've had, and you know, from people that I totally respect, inside and outside the industry, has been phenomenal. So I know it's just, come on, take a dive. Let's speak.
I love that. Yeah. And you know, it has to start somewhere, doesn't it? And it you know, there are a lot of people that can fly with this and actually lead with this. And I think it can set aside you as a trainer or as an employer or an operator if you are seen to be right at the front of a conversation that has been needed to have happened for years and years. So I think,
just imagine where it could go.
Oh, absolutely. So I will wrap this conversation up with the amazing Lynne Briggs. Please do have a look at the website, mh1global.com. And you obviously can follow Lynne Briggs on LinkedIn. She posts a lot of great stuff on there. And yeah, check out Facebook, which is MH1 Global. I think, as she said, you won't regret it. And you'll be able to be part of a conversation and a community that I've really found personally really, really helpful. So thanks for listening in. And Lynne, thanks for your wonderful time and your lovely background.
Oh yeah, my amazing background. Thanks, T. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thanks everybody for listening in. Goodbye.